Imagine being personally invited to one of the most prestigious diplomatic dinners on the planet. The kind where the guest list reads like a who's who of global power, the silverware probably costs more than your car, and the entire world is watching, and you just don't show up. Not because you were sick, not because your flight got canceled, but because showing up would mean sitting across the table from the man whose family, according to your own Netflix documentary, made your life a living royal nightmare. That, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly the energy Meghan Markle brought when King Charles rolled into Washington for his long-anticipated White House state dinner. And trust me, the silence she served was loud. Welcome back to Celebrity Watch Just, where we don't just watch the drama unfold, we break it down, flip it over, and serve it to you piping hot. I'm talking royalty so scalding, you're gonna need oven mitts. Quick favor, if you're loving this, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Thanks if you did. Now, back to the show. So let's set the stage here, because context is everything. King Charles III making an official visit to the United States is not just a big deal, it is a massive deal. This is the King of England, the head of the Commonwealth, stepping onto American soil for a formal state engagement. The White House rolls out the red carpet, the president is in full diplomatic charm mode, world leaders and celebrity-adjacent dignitaries are putting on their best outfits, and somewhere in Montecito, California, sitting in what is reportedly a very beautiful home with very expensive candles, is Meghan Markle, conspicuously absent. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the absence itself tells a bigger story than any invitation ever could. Let's rewind just a little bit, and I mean just a little, because this saga has more layers than a royal wedding cake. When Harry and Meghan stepped back from their senior royal duties back in 2020, they didn't just leave quietly, they left with a tell-all Oprah interview, a Netflix documentary that basically said, here's everything that happened and here's who we blame, and a memoir, Harry's Spare, that reads like the longest, most emotionally charged group text response in history. Safe to say, the bridges were not just burned, they were incinerated, doused in kerosene, and then the ashes were scattered into the Atlantic. So when King Charles lands stateside and the question becomes, will Harry and Meghan attend the state dinner? The whole world leans in. And the answer, at least where Meghan is concerned, was a full, unapologetic, stylish no. But why? That's the real question. And before you say, well, obviously they don't get along, let me stop you right there, because this is way more layered than just family beef. Reason number one, and this one is diplomatic gold, Meghan's very presence at a King Charles event on American soil would send a message she may not be ready to send. Think about it. The moment Meghan walks into that dinner, smiles for the cameras, and shakes hands with Charles, the narrative shifts. Suddenly, the Sussexes are reconciled. Suddenly, everything said in that Oprah interview is softened. Suddenly, the documentaries lose their bite. For someone who has spent years carefully constructing a public identity built on speaking her truth, showing up at that dinner is basically handing the palace a free PR win. And Meghan Markle does not give anything away for free. Now here's where the sarcasm gets fun, because the palace's PR team has been working overtime lately, painting Charles as this warm, approachable, modern monarch who just wants to heal family wounds. Very wholesome, very strategic. But Meghan, it seems, is not buying what they are selling. And honestly, can you blame her? Reason number two. The timing is suspicious in the best way possible, because right around this period, Meghan has been making significant moves of her own. The woman launched a lifestyle brand, is reportedly developing new projects, and has been showing up in spaces that have absolutely nothing to do with the royal family. She is building something, and the last thing you do when you are building a new identity is let an old chapter steal your headline. Attending that dinner? That becomes the story. Not her brand, not her work, not her vision. Just, Meghan and Charles, are they good now? She would spend the next 6 months in interviews clarifying what her presence meant. Hard pass. But wait, because here's where it gets even more complicated. Harry reportedly had some level of communication around this period. Not a full-blown reconciliation, not a warm hug in front of photographers, but communication, which means Meghan and Harry may actually be operating with very different playbooks right now. Harry, who is technically a prince, who still has biological ties to the family, who still has a father dealing with a very serious health journey, Harry has reasons to keep one foot in the door. Meghan, she walked out that door, painted it a different color, and listed it on her lifestyle website. And this is not shade, this is strategy. Here's an analogy for you. Imagine you left a job on bad terms, like really bad terms. HR was involved, there was a whole thing. Now imagine your former boss is doing a big public event and someone says, "Hey, do you want to come back for the company anniversary dinner?" Your ex-coworkers would be watching, the press would be there, your boss would smile and act like everything was fine. Do you go? Most of us would send a very politely worded decline and go get dinner somewhere much more enjoyable. Meghan Markle essentially sent that email, but make it designer.
Now let's talk about what this means for the broader royal family dynamics, because it means a lot. The fact that Meghan did not attend signals to the world that whatever healing may be happening between Harry and his family, Meghan is not necessarily part of that journey. She is not the villain she has been painted as by British tabloids, but she is also not playing nice for optics. She is, in every sense of the phrase, playing her own game. And frankly, it's working. There's also the American angle here that nobody is really talking about, and Celebrity Watch List is not going to let that slide. Meghan is an American woman. She is building her life and her career in America. The White House state dinner is happening in her backyard practically, and yet she is not there. What does that say to her American audience, to her fans, to the people who cheered her on when she said she was choosing her mental health? It says, "I meant what I said. I am not performing reconciliation for cameras." And in an era where authenticity is basically the most valuable currency in celebrity culture, that reads as power. Let us also not forget that Celebrity Watch List has a very good memory, that the royal family has not exactly been rushing to publicly defend Meghan or correct the record on some of the rougher narratives about her. So asking her to show up, smile, and break bread with the institution that, by her own account, failed to protect her, that is a big ask, a very big, unaddressed, unanswered ask. Here is the bottom line, and I want you to sit with this. Meghan Markle's absence from that state dinner was not an accident. It was not a scheduling conflict. It was a very deliberate, very calculated, very Meghan move. Whether you agree with it or not, you cannot deny the chess being played. While everyone else was focused on what the dinner would look like, Meghan was focused on what her absence would say, and it said everything. Treason? No. The woman is not under royal obligation anymore. Truce? Absolutely not. At least not yet. This is something else entirely. This is a woman who decided that on this particular board, she is not a pawn, she is not even a queen in the chess sense, she is the player holding the whole board, deciding which pieces are worth moving. And that, Celebrity Watch List family, is how you make headlines without saying a single word. Thank you so much for watching. It truly means everything. See you in the next one.